What if I told you that the difference between a garden that feeds your family all year and one that barely survives comes down to what you plant this month, specifically this month? May is not just another month on the calendar for gardeners. It is the month. The window. The moment where everything either clicks or collapses. And most people waste it planting the wrong things. Today we are fixing that. Welcome back to Earthly Gardening, and if you are new here, genuinely glad you found us. This channel is all about growing real food, saving real money, and doing it without any of the complicated nonsense. To everyone coming back, you already know how we do things here. Simple, practical, and always worth your time. Before we get into it, if you have not subscribed yet, hit that button right now because what we cover here is the kind of stuff that actually makes a difference in your garden and your pocket. And if you are already part of the family, drop a comment below and tell me, what have you already started planting this May? I read every single one. Now let us get into the 10 crops you would genuinely be foolish not to plant this month. Crop 1, Sweet Potatoes. Let us start with something that feels a little intimidating but is honestly one of the easiest wins in a May garden. Sweet potatoes. Now most people think of sweet potatoes as a grocery store staple, something you grab when you need a side dish. But what they do not realize is that one small slip, which is just a little sprout from an existing sweet potato, can produce anywhere from 4 to 8 potatoes underground by the time harvest comes around in autumn. You plant the slip, you water it, you mostly leave it alone. Sweet potatoes do not need babying. They spread low across the ground, they do not take up vertical space, and they genuinely thrive when May warmth starts settling into the soil. The soil temperature is the key thing here. Sweet potatoes want warm soil, not just warm air, and May delivers exactly that in most regions. What makes this a money crop is simple. A bag of sweet potatoes at the store can run you a few dollars every single week. One successful planting in May gives you enough to last months. You save more than you spend, every single time. Crop 2, Climbing Beans. Here is one people know but do not use smartly enough. Climbing beans, sometimes called pole beans, are one of the most productive plants you can put in the ground this month. The reason climbing beans work so brilliantly in May is that they are warm season plants. Cold soil slows them down and can even rot the seeds before they germinate. But May soil has had time to warm up from spring, and that is exactly the environment these beans are waiting for. Here is the part most people miss. Because they grow vertically, climbing beans use almost no ground space. If you have got a fence, a few sticks tied together, even an old chair back, you have got a trellis. They climb naturally. They produce pods steadily over a long period, not all at once, which means you are picking fresh beans for weeks rather than getting flooded and watching half of them go to waste. Plant them once in May and you will be picking from July well into September depending on your climate. That is months of free vegetables from a seed that costs almost nothing. Crop 3, Cucumbers. Cucumbers have a reputation for being a summer crop and that reputation is completely earned, but the secret is that the gardeners who have the best cucumber harvests in summer are the ones who started in May. Cucumbers are fast growers. From seed to first fruit can be as little as 50 days in the right conditions. Plant in May and you are eating cucumbers by late June or early July before the heat of summer even peaks. What makes cucumbers special from a money standpoint is how expensive they get in shops during summer. Everyone wants them, supply gets stretched, prices climb. Your garden does not care about market prices. It just keeps producing. One thing worth knowing is that cucumbers like consistent moisture. They do not want to be swimming in water but they do not want to dry out either. A simple mulch layer around the base of the plant holds moisture in and cuts down how often you need to water. That is a tip that saves both time and water bills. Crop 4, Courgettes/zucchini. If you have never grown courgettes before, prepare yourself because May is when these plants reveal their true personality, and that personality is generous to the point of being slightly overwhelming. Courgettes are one of those plants that gardeners often joke about. You plant one and suddenly you have more than you know what to do with. But that is actually the point. One plant can produce multiple fruits per week through summer. You are not buying courgettes from a shop, you are giving them away to neighbors and still having plenty left. May is the sweet spot for starting them because courgettes need a long growing season and they are sensitive to frost. By the time you plant in May, frost risk in most areas has dropped significantly and the plant has the full warm season ahead of it to do what it does best, which is to grow abundantly. From a nutrition standpoint, these are low-calorie, high-fiber, and genuinely versatile in the kitchen. They roast, they grill, they go into pasta, bread, soups. One plant, endless options. Crop 5, Basil. Now let us talk about something that does not just feed you but transforms every meal you cook. Basil. Here is why basil belongs on this list. A single pot of fresh basil at a grocery store can cost you nearly as much as a full seed packet. That seed packet contains hundreds of seeds. The math there is obvious. But the real trick with basil is knowing that it loves heat. It genuinely thrives in warm conditions and May is when that warmth arrives. Basil planted in cold weather sulks, grows slowly, and often turns a sickly yellow. Basil planted in May takes off and does not stop. The other thing about basil is that the more you pick from it, the more it produces. There is a technique called pinching where you remove the top set of leaves regularly to stop the plant from flowering. Once basil flowers, it starts to decline. But if you keep pinching, you keep harvesting. A single basil plant managed this way can produce fresh leaves for 3 to 4 months straight. Plant it in a pot on a sunny windowsill or directly in the garden bed. Either works. The results are the same, fresh herbs on demand without the weekly supermarket cost. Real quick before we keep going. If this is already changing how you think about your May garden, do me a favor and hit the like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel reach more gardeners who need exactly this kind of information. And if you are not subscribed, now is a great time. We post practical gardening content every week and you do not want to miss what is coming up. Alright, back to it because we are only halfway through and it gets even better. Crop 6, radishes as companion plants. Now here is where things get interesting. Most people know radishes as a quick crop, ready in 3 to 4 weeks, great for salads. And that is all true. But what most gardeners do not know is that radishes are one of the most powerful companion plants you can use in May. When you plant radishes alongside slower-growing crops like carrots or lettuce, the radishes germinate and grow fast, breaking up the soil as they develop. This natural aeration makes it easier for the roots of surrounding plants to push through the ground. The radishes are essentially doing free soil work for the rest of your garden. On top of that, radishes attract certain pests away from other crops, acting as what gardeners call a trap crop. The bugs go for the radishes and leave your more valuable plants alone. You harvest the radishes in weeks, the pests are drawn away from things that matter, and your soil is better for everything that follows. That is 3 jobs from one cheap packet of seeds. Crop 7, Moringa. This is the one I mentioned at the start. Number 7. And I want you to hear me out because this one is going to surprise you. Moringa. You may not have grown it before, but there is a very good chance you have heard of it, seen it as a powder in health food stores, or noticed how expensive those products are on shelves. Here is what Moringa actually is. It is a fast-growing tree that can be grown like an annual crop in most climates. In warm regions it grows year-round. In cooler areas you start it in May, let it grow through the warm months, and harvest the leaves before temperatures drop. Those leaves are packed with nutrition. We are talking about a plant that nutrition researchers have called one of the most nutrient-dense leaves on the planet. Iron, calcium, protein, vitamins. The kind of things that cost significant money when you buy supplements. From a garden economy standpoint, this is unmatched. One Moringa plant started from seed in May can grow several feet tall in a single season. The leaves can be harvested, dried, and stored. You can use them fresh in cooking, blend them into smoothies, or dry them into a powder. The same powder that costs a premium in shops is sitting in your garden for the price of a single seed. Most people have never thought to grow this. That is exactly why it belongs on this list. Crop 8, tomatoes. You knew tomatoes were going to be here. Of course they were. But let us talk about them the right way, because most gardeners make a mistake with May tomatoes that costs them weeks of harvest time. The mistake is planting too early and rushing the process. Tomatoes planted in cold soil, even slightly cold soil, stall. They sit there, barely growing, looking sad and pale. Tomatoes planted in genuinely warm May soil take off fast and often overtake plants that went in earlier. May is tomato planting month for most regions precisely because the soil temperature has climbed to where tomatoes want it, around 18 degrees Celsius or 65 Fahrenheit at minimum. From a financial standpoint, tomatoes are one of the highest return crops a home gardener can grow. A single healthy plant can produce kilograms of fruit through summer. Consider what you spend on tomatoes weekly at the shop, fresh, canned, jarred. Your garden wipes out most of that cost with just a few well-cared-for plants. Cherry tomatoes are particularly good for beginners because they produce earlier and more continuously than large varieties. A cherry tomato plant started in May will be giving you fruit through summer and into autumn if the season holds. Crop 9, Amaranth. Here is another one that sounds unfamiliar but is actually closer to your daily life than you might think. Amaranth is a plant with two personalities and you get to choose which one you want from it. The leaves are edible, nutritious, and taste similar to spinach, which means you can use it anywhere you would use leafy greens in cooking. The seeds, produced in dramatic plume-like heads at the top of the plant, are a grain that has been eaten for thousands of years. So in one plant you are getting leafy greens for salads and cooking early in the season, and then a grain harvest later in the year from the seed heads. Amaranth is also extremely heat tolerant, which makes May the ideal starting point. As summer heats up and other leafy plants like spinach start to bolt and turn bitter, amaranth keeps going. It thrives in conditions that frustrate other crops. It grows tall and is visually striking in a garden, which matters if you care about how your space looks. It repels certain insects naturally. And it costs almost nothing to grow from seed. This is the definition of a hidden gem crop. Crop 10, winter squash. The name throws people off. Winter squash. Why are we planting a winter crop in May? Because winter squash takes a long time to mature, typically 100 to 120 days, and if you want it ready for autumn and winter eating, May is precisely when it needs to go in the ground. Varieties like butternut, acorn, and delicata squash are planted in late spring, grow through summer, and are harvested in autumn when they are fully mature and naturally sweet. What makes them remarkable is what happens after harvest. These squash can be stored for months without refrigeration. A successful squash harvest in autumn can provide food through winter and into the following spring. From a budget perspective, this is extraordinary. You are growing food in May that feeds your family in January and February. That is not just gardening, that is food security built with your own hands for nearly nothing. The vines take up space, but they can be trained along a fence or allowed to sprawl in unused corners of the garden. One or two plants are genuinely enough to provide a serious supply. 10 crops. All of them are perfect for May. All of them are chosen because they either save you serious money, grow in ways that surprise most people, or give back far more than they take in time and effort. If you are standing in your garden this week wondering where to start, start here. Pick 2 or 3 from this list that excite you, get the seeds in the ground, and watch what happens. Gardening is not complicated when you know what to do and when to do it. I want to know which one you are going to try first. Drop it in the comments below. And if you have already planted any of these this May, tell us how they are coming along. This community is at its best when we are all learning from each other. If this video gave you something useful, please like it and share it with someone who is trying to get their garden going this season. Subscribe if you have not already, because next week we are going into something that is going to completely change how you think about soil, and trust me, you do not want to miss that one. Until then, keep your hands in the dirt and your costs low. See you in the next one.